to the Money Goddess podcast. I am your host, Jasmine Thomas Bridges, and I'm so excited to be sharing this episode with you. This is the part two of the previous episode that we just left off. It is actually a segment. Sorry about that. So you probably just listened into part one. If you are listening on the radio, if you are here with me live on YouTube, the Money Goddess 333. Hello, hello. You can go back and check out that previous one. It will air on December 31st. So let's get into it. We are talking about making high value friends. This can be used even if you are a male. However, I'm going to be speaking to the female audience. I think in my opinion, with men, I think it's a little easier to kind of find friends. I think men are a little more like simple with their friendships. At least that's what I found in my experience. Versus as women, sometimes our friendships can be a little difficult to navigate because of the seasons we go through. And, we're just a totally different species. So I am going to be digging into how to make those high value friends. I have lots of tips and just some story time of my own reflection and my own process. So, what you want to do, as I shared in the previous segment, get out your journal and just kind of take some notes to do some deep inner reflection. And I'm recording this at the end of 2024. And so, you will want to. You'll want to use this to your advantage. So let's go ahead and dig into it. So, first off, I want you to reflect on what isn't working in your friendships. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here. First thing, reflect on what isn't working in your friendships. So, as you are journaling in on this, is it that you feel like you're not able to nourish your friendships? Is it that you found that you've outgrown your friendships? Maybe there are certain people that you used to hang with in the past, but you feel like those people are not where you are. I really want you to get crystal clear on what isn't working for you. We all grow, we all evolve. And please don't feel bad if, you were friends with someone in one season and then in another season you found yourself being friends with others. It is totally okay to go through those changes. Don't feel like you should hold yourself back or feel a level of guilt if you are progressing forward, but the people you used to hang with aren't. So really just dig deep and then even think to yourself, am I a good friend? And am I in a season to be social, or is this a season where I have to pull my energy back and work on certain things? There is a season for everything, and some people can't balance the way that they used to. Maybe they have a family, they have a spouse, they're adjusting. There could have been traumatic events. So really just look at your friendships and think, what is happening here? Hello for everyone that is joining in. Welcome, welcome. Now, when there are things not working in your friendships, I also want to encourage you to heal. There could be moments in your friendships where you're still carrying hurt from years ago. Maybe your first best friend that you ever had gossiped about you in the past. Listen, I want you to do some deep digging. Look within yourself and decide, listen, I'm still hurt about whatever it is because it might be there. Were you bullied? Were you picked on? Does that make you not want to make friends? Sometimes I know for myself, I want to be very honest and very transparent. Like, I'm moving into a season where I really don't know if I want to have close friends. And when I say close, as I share in the previous part of this episode, I said in your journal to make a pyramid. At the bottom of your pyramid, these are associates, people that you know. The next level up are your friends. then you have your close friends, and then you have like people that are at the top with you. Okay. There, for me, I am finding that having close friends is not as easy as it used to be for me. My expectations have changed and my vibration has changed. So there are some people that I would rather just, hey, we can be a friend, or hey, we can be associates, because to get to that level of intimacy in a friendship takes a lot for me. I have, and I would encourage you, find out your human design too as you are healing. Your human design is going to tell you your authority. What's your signature? What's your strategy? So for me, I am an emotional that's my strategy. That's what I work with. That's what I'm charged with. And I also thrive on responding. So if I'm not getting action coming my way or that reciprocity from people, I'm not living my most satisfied life. So consider that. Check out your human design, because it can show you how to navigate relationships, how you navigate your career path, and all of those things. I do have that information in my Money Honey course. If you ever want to dig into human design a little bit deeper, you can go to shesworthy.org to see what all is inside of the Money Honey course, because it's more than just human design. It is a revolutionary opportunity for you to change your mindset around money, wealth, and empowerment for your finances. So I really want you to dig deep and see how you have changed, what you need to heal from, what energy might you need to let go of, because you, at the end of the day, whether you choose to have close friends, associates, whatever, you still want to heal. We all need each other. We all need to collaborate in some way, but you have to know where people are positioned in your life, what type of access that you are going to give people to you, and how to move forward. So the more healed that you are, the better you can attract people who want to be in your life. They're going to be more high value, because if you aren't healed, you're going to be bringing in all types of people that are pulling your energy, and they're not helping you go to that next level. So I really want you to think deep about that, and I want you to let go. Let go of friends or circumstances that are no longer serving you, so that you can propel yourself forward. The next thing I want you to do in attracting your high value friendships is to write out what you want for each level in that pyramid. So, an example for me is, if you're at the top of my pyramid, and I look at that pyramid as a business entity, who do I have working in certain levels? If you're at the top with me, you're the person that I'm going to have hard conversations with. I'm going to tell you how I feel about things. And that the people that are at the top with me are my son and my husband. Okay. My mom is not even up there, because I've learned in some cases, some people can't handle certain conversations. And sometimes even my spouse might not be able to handle the conversation at the time. But because we are in the same vicinity, because we're working together, we have a child together, I'm going to go through things that are a little tougher. I'm going to have tougher conversations with him than I would with other people outside of that. Now, for my close friends, things that I might want is, hey, we check in on each other maybe on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, or even monthly if we're busy. Hey, we nourish our friendship. We might not be able to talk every day or as much as we did in the past, but we're still close, okay? Versus people that are just like friends, like lifelong friends that I will always have. Look, I don't expect to talk to you often, but if you call or you text, we're going to chop it up, right? If I see you out or you want to go out to dinner or something like that, cool. Then my associates, I really don't have too many expectations with them. I will see you when I see you, and that's that. Right? So I encourage you, write out what you expect from each level of your social life, your friendships, so that way you know what you will or will not tolerate. And I would also encourage you to clear any limiting beliefs that you might have with friendships. So, one limiting belief that I'm working through, as I mentioned, like I may not want to have close friends because this year I lost one of my best friends. Like they just randomly kind of stopped talking to me, and it was very hurtful for me. And then another friend, we just kind of didn't see eye to eye, and it wasn't like a big blowout or anything like that, but it shifted how I feel like I need to interact and work with them. And so that's why I'm like, do I really want to have close friends, that I talk about very intimate, things with? Do I want to do life with them, right? Because I'm giving my energy to them. And I want to be very clear. When you invest in your relationships, these people are getting your energy. And sometimes we might be giving so much energy to the people that really they don't mean us well. And in some cases, even if they do mean us well, they're also healing themselves. So we might get parts of people that we didn't deserve. Like, you really have to be clear about what it is you want and what it is you would like to see and how you can propel that forward. So I'm working through the limiting beliefs of I can have close friends. I just have to make sure that they earn their spot, because in the past I believe that I have let like people in, even though I've tried to vet as best as I could. Sometimes it's better for me just to let people gradually work their way in, let them show me. And I know a lot of it has to do with my social friendliness. Like, I'm a social butterfly. I'm super friendly. I'm fun. I love to talk, so it makes it a little easier for those people to bring their way in. But I really want to work through, what? I attract the best high quality friends. I always have a good time with them. I am social. I love being around others. I am just really working through that. So, any limiting beliefs you have, listen, I want you to follow my pattern that I always share. Write out the limiting beliefs, turn them around, and debunk each thing, right? Share and find evidence that this is not true. Then you turn it into positive affirmations, listen to it for 90 days, and see the results. So that is what I'm also doing as well, because I want more good women around me. Let me be clear, high value women that want something out of life. They're not settling for the status quo. They're not just sitting here on their hands and not propelling themselves forward. Like, that's not going to work. They have to be working towards something. And I know everyone isn't going to be me. And when I say that, I mean we're not all going to be alike, right? We're going to have our differences. That's the beauty of friendships. But they have to be wanting the best for themselves. So after I have listed out what I want from each level of those friendships, this gives you a clear sense of where people stand with you. You want to know where you stand with people. You don't want to walk into a relationship where you aren't clear and then you wind up getting hurt, or you're feeling a certain type of way because you had a specific expectation and they didn't meet it. Now, the next thing, listen, y'all, this is the real tea. Okay? This is the real tea. Here we go. Become magnetically attractive. I really want to make sure you all understand that if you do not have high value friends, it has more to do with you than it does to do with other people. And that's because you have not become a magnet. To become a magnet to high value friends, number one, you need standards. And you need standards for yourselves. Forgive me, guys. I noticed that I have some lip gloss issues. Plus, I'm drinking tea. So, anyway, You will want to have standards for yourself, right? What are your standards for your friendship? So for me, I believe it's important to be there for your friends. Now, that doesn't mean that if we're talking about the same problem for 20 years, I'm not doing that, right? That's my standard. After we talk about something 3 times, if you have not taken any action on whatever it is, we're done talking about this. Like, I'm not going to listen to it. That's my standard. And even for myself, if I'm constantly in someone's ear and I'm talking to them about something and I haven't made a change or a shift, no, we're not doing that. So, what are your standards for yourself as a friend? What do you do for your friends and what do you give to them? Okay, that's going to make you more attractive for the right people because you're clear on what you do. I know also I'm a teacher. So everything that I learn in life, look, I'm here on this platform. I'm always helping others. I just cannot help myself. That is my calling. That's my gift. That's something I do super easy. So if there's something I know, I'm always going to help. I'm always going to problem solve. If you're going through something, I'm going to help you take action. That's just me. So because I know that is not a norm. Most people don't have that to do. It's not natural. So if you're going to be in my environment, if you're going to be a part of my pyramid and you're on the higher end, you're going to have to do some things to either reciprocate what I do in my standards, or you're going to have something that's also useful for me as well, because I know what I'm bringing. Now, another way to become attractive for those friendships and high value people is to have your boundaries. A lot of us don't have the best friends because we don't have boundaries. We let any and everybody in. We let people have access to us that should not. Another thing that I've also noticed in our friendships is we allow people to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. I'll give you an example. I have a friend that I'm not as close with as I used to be. But in the past, this person told me that they have been friends with people for years and years and years. But they really aren't all that. And they keep doing the same types of things and showing this person how they are. But that person continues to be friends with them. Hello? You're blocking your blessings of good new people to come into your life because you're so caught up in, oh, we've been friends for so long. Those are my people. No, listen, I get it. It is hard, but as I mentioned, you let that go. If you're constantly holding on to people from your past, listen, it is not going to work. You gotta have boundaries. And if you are feeling that space of friendships and closeness with people who are not making you a priority, that's a problem. All of my friends that I am now considering close, if you don't make me a priority, I'm going to do what Haley Gamba said. And I believe I said this in the first segment. You reward inconsistency with unavailability. I am unavailable for people who are not making me a priority. This is not a multiple choice test. Either I am or I'm not. Because I know who I am as a friend and I've always been a good friend. And I want to make sure you guys are aware of that too. We can set the tone and say what we want in friendships, but if we're not that good friend ourselves, we're not going to get that back. And if we do, we're not going to be able to keep it and maintain it because we will self-sabotage. We'll have habits that will push those people away. Now, let's talk about habits that we have. What are the habits that we have as friends? Where are we putting ourselves? Are we positioning ourselves for those high value friends? I'm going to talk about things you can do to meet more high value friends, but I have met a lot of my friends here online with my podcast. I've had my podcast for almost 7 years, and I've met a lot of people through podcasting. I've met people on TikTok. I've met people, especially on Facebook and being in Facebook groups. Where are you going to find better people? Are you joining certain clubs? Are you joining organizations? Are you finding them in schools where you're bettering yourselves? Are you in courses, classes, whatever? Where would high value people be? The high value people are not out at the club. Okay? I also have found high value people in my neighborhood. That's the beauty also as well of this, is that the high value people they can be in so many different places, but I want you to sit down and think, where would most high value people be? And am I ready to be in those spaces? And if I am ready to be in those spaces, am I putting myself in a position to meet these people and to want to be around them? Is my vibration that of the high value people I'm looking to attract? So the next thing also is your vibration. Now, if you have not healed and you haven't let go of the past, listen, I can tell you right now, your vibration is low. I can tell you that already, because you are still holding on. You have baggage. You're trying to walk up a mountain with tons of baggage from year after year after year of not letting go of the things you've gone through with friendships. There are a lot, especially as women, our friendships are like breakups sometimes. Like, if that's our girl that we've been like close with, it's hard, and we may shield ourselves from forming those new friendships or going out with people because we haven't let go, because we haven't healed. That's how we raise our vibration. So I want you to put that into practice. Make sure healing is a priority. The next thing in raising your vibration to become magnetically attractive is, what are you consuming? Are you consuming that of what a high value woman would consume? That means what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're reading, right? Are you elevating yourself? Are you putting yourself in a position so that your business can thrive, your career can thrive, all of these things? And I have a friend I was just telling earlier, I went out somewhere and it was in a high value setting, but what I realized is sometimes in those settings the vibration can still, some people can still slide their way into high value places, but their vibration is just not there. And I was sharing how shocking it was. It's like, wait a minute, like, what kind of place is this? So you got to know who's real and who's fake in those settings. You got to know who's for you and who isn't. And so when you make sure your vibration is where it needs to be, like attracts like, and you'll bring yourself around the right people. Now, I want to encourage you to open up to meeting those new people. I have learned a lot of people, especially, so I'm in my 30s. I'm a married woman. I have a baby. It's very easy for me to say, I don't have time to meet people. But I do. I make it a priority. How you can meet people? Online. Let's talk about online, because I think that's something people don't even think is, especially if you are on the older side, they kind of dismiss that. They think, look, I'm past my college days. I might have a few work friends. I don't go out. It is what it is. But I encourage you, when you get online, join communities. Like I mentioned, podcasts, there are book clubs. Even if you want to start your own book club. So in my community, we have a book club. You can go, even if you don't, like, let's say you want to meet up face to face, you can go to like maybe your local library. There are civic centers. If you're a business person, if you're in real estate, go check out your chamber of commerce. See what type of meetings that they have so you can get around the right type of people for you. You guys, the connections that you can make, even if people are just associates, you never know who can really help you and who you might become close to. So do keep that in mind. Make sure that you prioritize. I would say at minimum once a month, I want you to prioritize some sort of socialization that is outside of your comfort zone. If it's a networking event, do that. Even in online communities, sometimes what I'll do, like if someone comments on something or we share the same opinion, I'll reach back out to them and say, oh my gosh, this was similar as well. And just let it be organic. Organically meet people, and if it's meant to be, you guys will wind up being friends and you can help each other out. Now guys, this particular episode is, it sounds like it's shallow, but it's really elevating you, because who you are around is who you are going to become. And if you don't like the people you're around, then you're not going to like who you are becoming. So do keep that in mind. Now, for those of you tuning in on YouTube Live, be sure to subscribe. I am the Money Goddess 333. You can find me there. I have plenty of other videos. If you also are tuning in via podcast or on the radio, make sure you find the Money Goddess podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful for you. Please feel free to email me, shesworthy2017@gmail.com, if this was a resourceful episode for you, or even if you really are going to go out and experience new friendships, build social circles, because 2025 is a year of connectivity and we have to go out there and put in the work to meet those high value people. Love you all so much and take care.